a 20-minute fettuccine chicken Cajun pasta that is going to knock your socks off, and it is perfect for a busy weeknight, or if you are entertaining on the weekends and you want to keep it very, very easy but maximum flavor. This dish is so delicious. We made something like this years and years ago, and it still continues to be one of you guys' favorites, and I couldn't wait to sort of reshare it, redo it, update it, because it's time, it's time. We make so many good recipes on Laura in the Kitchen, and sometimes it feels really good to go back to some old classics. What you'll need for this is not a whole lot, and a lot of things are interchangeable. You're gonna start with peppers, onions, garlic. I'm using fresh tomatoes. You can use canned diced tomatoes. You'll need some Cajun seasoning. I've got some chicken tenderloins, which I'll discuss in just a bit, and some chicken andouille sausage. You can use any sausage you want. You can use chicken thighs if you want to, chicken breast. It just happens to be what was on special. What had the best price. When I cook for you and I create these videos and I write the recipes, I do try to keep in mind giving you the opportunity to change whatever ingredient for what's available and what's most affordable. And for me this week, for whatever reason, in both of my ShopRites, the chicken tenders were at a great price. So I went ahead and picked those up, and it works really great here. If boneless, skinless chicken thighs were on special, I would have bought those and it would have been delicious. So feel free to use what you have, to use what's affordable and available, and just take this as an idea. I'm gonna go ahead and use some chicken sausage. I loved the idea of this andouille chicken sausage. It just gives you flavor, smokiness, richness. It is chicken sausage, so it's not as fatty, and it just pairs really well with everything else. The one downside to chicken tenders is that I gotta take that tendon out. But I'm gonna show you how I do it. I'm gonna do the whole thing. I'm boiling water back there, but I'm gonna cook in my shallow Dutch oven. To take out to take out the tendon from chicken tenders. See this guy right here? It's stringy, it's annoying, I don't want it. So what you do is, this is what I do. I sort of loosen it, okay? Then you're gonna have to take a piece of paper towel because it's very, very slippery. Okay, try and grab it. It's a little bit hard to do because you can't see. Hold down the chicken, okay, and then you just pull. And sometimes it comes off in one piece, and sometimes it breaks up your chicken tender a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. Let's do another one. Here's your chicken tender. Take your tendon, grab it, hold down your tender with a fork. You see? And then you just grab all in one piece. And it's so slippery. That's it. You don't want that. And then what I do is I just cut this into chunks, and you're good to go. And if you're doing this with chicken breast, you won't need to do it. If you're doing it with chicken thighs, you won't need to do it. But I'm just gonna go ahead and do these two and get them ready. Chicken sausage comes out. Now the sausage is already cooked through, so I was just looking to give it a little bit of color and render some of that flavor, which it did, and that only took literally maybe 2 minutes. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter, about a tablespoon, to whatever drippings are left in my pan. Get that in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken, and I'm gonna season that with a little Cajun seasoning. It's spicy, it's a little smoky. It's just gonna do a great thing. I'm gonna go ahead and let that cook, develop color. While that happens, I am going to work on finely dicing up. I got a nice clean knife, get rid of my chicken board. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm going to dice up a pepper, some onions, some garlic, and a few tomatoes. You could certainly just use, like I said, diced tomato or like a small can of Rotel. I just happen to still have tomatoes coming from the garden, so I want to use those up, and I'm just going to go ahead and just give them all a nice little chop and get them ready. Chicken is done, and look at those gorgeous flavorings at the bottom of the pan. And let me just tell you something that makes a difference. That is flavor, that is depth, that is going to give something to your dish that you wouldn't get if you didn't take the time to really create that beautifulness. So now to that, I'm going to go ahead and add my onion, my garlic, and my pepper. I'm gonna add them all at once. There's not a whole lot of fat going on in here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add just a little drizzle of olive oil. I'm not gonna add any more butter, just because there's still already butter in there. And I'm gonna cook those veggies for literally just a few minutes. I still want them to retain a little flavor. I'm gonna add a little more of that Cajun seasoning. Again, this will not take very long. Once my water comes to a rolling boil, we'll add the pasta in. I'll show you when we get to that step. I'm just gonna go ahead and babysit my veggies for literally just a few minutes. Pasta in, give it a generous pinch of salt, work that into the water, because what makes pasta all stick together is just not giving it enough time in that first like 30 to 60 seconds to really submerge it in there and for that starch to start coming out. So once it's nice in there, nestled and comfortable, this is how easy this is. You add your tomatoes in, you add your cooked sausage and your chicken. Give it a really nice little stir. Don't crank the heat up too much because you don't need it. Now you see you've got beautiful things stuck at the bottom of that pan. Use a little stock. I'm just using some of that starchy water. Okay, and all that does is it lifts all that flavor. It gives you a base of just gorgeousness. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little bit of chicken stock and some cream and some parsley. Add a mix of chicken stock and just a little bit of heavy cream, not much, just only like a 1/4 cup of cream to 3/4 of a cup or so of stock, and then just a little bit of parsley, and then I'll save the rest for when we need it. All I'm gonna do to this right now is just keep it like this. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it on warm. When the pasta is like shy 1 minute of al dente, I'm gonna tongue it directly into this, bring that temperature nice and high, cook it all together so that the pasta has a chance to absorb all that beautiful flavor. Then we call it off. All right, I'm increasing the heat on my sauce. My pasta is just, like I said, about a minute away for being perfectly al dente. Come on. I'm just gonna grab it from my Dutch oven. I can't see the steam and I'm short. So I'm losing on both fronts here. All right, I wanna get all the pasta in there. Give it like a minute or two to cook together because you see you've got that sauce. That sauce needs to soak into that starch. So by letting it all cook together for that, last minute or two, it really makes such a big difference, and you would just not believe what boost of flavor that will give to the pasta. So it's kind of like when your lotion just sinks into your skin rather than just sits on top and makes you feel all sticky. That's what the pasta is, okay? The lotion is the sauce, the pasta is the skin, and it needs to absorb. So you gotta give it a few minutes. And I like to kick it up with lots of Parmigiano, and it also just acts like glue to hold it all together and for that sauce to really absorb. Now obviously, listen, I don't need to tell you that this is not an authentic Italian dish, but you know what we're about here in Laura in the Kitchen? We're about authentically delicious food, okay? We don't discriminate. We are all about all the foods, cooking what you like, how you like it, when you like it. Some things are authentic, some things are not, but the one thing that is always sure, we're always sure around here, is that it's always gonna be authentically delicious, no matter what it is. I'm just gonna let it cook for a minute, and then I'm gonna just turn it off. Look at that. Look what happens when you just let it all cook together, and then I turned it off and let it sit for a minute, and look, that sauce, which was once liquidy, and that pasta, which was once pale, has absorbed it all, and it is just smelling incredible. I'm just gonna take a little taste test, like a little pre-dinner snack situation. That's a must. I mean, I cooked it, I gotta try it. I gotta try it. That cayenne from the spice hit me right in the face. Joy and I are gonna have one delicious lunch. Oh, I just know it. It's gonna be so good. And I like that there's just enough cream to hold the sauce together and give it that luscious feel, but it's not a cream sauce. Do you know what I mean? Oh my. It's instantly good. It is instantly delicious. Sausage is so good. It's a home run. And guess what? 20 minutes. Use whatever sausage, no sausage at all. Use whatever chicken, use whatever pasta. You just have to make it. Full recipe on laurainthekitchen.com. Hope you enjoy spending time with me. You need to make this. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.